So you're a real estate agent and you've been in the business for less than a year, or you've been in over a year, or maybe you've been in for over a decade, but I bet you can relate to this. Have you ever had a moment where things were going really well? Typically, it's when something new comes into our world, and then all of a sudden things get really difficult or really hard to handle inside of business. It's kind of that peaks and valley type situation. I call that the dip. And there is a whole model around the dip. And the point of talking through the dip is understanding, because there's a model, you can know exactly where you're at and you can expect what's next. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to walk you through the dip model and give you some examples, both real life, personal type examples, and then examples inside of the actual real estate business and being a real estate agent and dealing with the dip. And what the dip is it's three stages. On the left, there's a small piece. In the center, there's the largest piece, and on the right, there's a smaller piece. So let's talk about the first stage. It's called the Yearn Stage. And the Yearn Stage is, for lack of better words, it's kind of like a honeymoon stage. And I'll kind of elaborate on that a little more in depth. But basically what this means is, in this stage, your chemistry is high, meaning you're excited. And so in the context of, let's say, a personal relationship, when you first meet the person that you're dating and you're in the yearn phase, like, everything is exciting. Your chemistry is high. And you just love spending time with this person every second of the day, every single day, 7 days a week. It's because you're super excited about who this person is in your world. But here's the thing. In the yearn stage, your clarity is low. So this person, you don't know everything about them yet. You don't know all their little quirky things that eventually will bother you. Then we graduate eventually in a relationship from the yearn stage to the earn stage. So the earn stage is where the rubber meets the road. It's where there's actually work involved, and the clarity becomes very high. So back to that relationship example, we're now in a relationship. We know who they are. There's things about them that bother us. We nitpick, we argue. There is clarity on who this person is. And in the earn phase, there tends to be a lower chemistry. Lower chemistry naturally would be another way of explaining it. So in the earn phase, it's extremely important that we know what to do to get to the next stage. The following stage after earn is the endure stage. Kind of like in that same relationship, the couple that's been together for 50 years, they are on cloud nine, cruise control. The relationship is amazing. They're the ones that are giving the advice on how to have a long, healthy, happy relationship. And this is when we typically have chemistry and clarity that are high. You can see this now, this same exact picture in real estate. Let me give you an easy example, but then I'll tell you this always shows up in other places. So the easy example is when you first got into real estate. You didn't really know what it was. You saw $1 million listing New York selling Sunset. You're super excited. You're headed into the office every single day with a smile on your face. You're skipping in. Everything's exciting. And your clarity is extremely low on what it actually takes to succeed in this business. Side note, by the way, that's why 9 out of 10 people drop out of this business within 2 years, because clarity sets in, the earn phase sets in, and they are unwilling to self-manage themselves into doing what it takes to make it as a successful real estate agent. In the earn phase, that's where we get into doing the daily activities that we're supposed to do. Every single day, day in, day out, we have to work on the foundations of our business. That's where clarity is high and chemistry is low. It's not easy to make calls every day. It's not easy to constantly seek out relationships and business on a regular basis, right? It's not easy. But here's the thing. Jumping back to that relationship example, if you're in the earn phase in a relationship and clarity is high and chemistry is low, if you don't work on the foundations of your relationship with your partner, then your marriage or relationship you have will erode and eventually come to an end. Meaning you have to work on communication skills, you have to work on empathy, you have to work on things, the foundations of having a solid relationship in order for that relationship to eventually get to the endure phase. Same thing in real estate. You have to work on the foundations that make every real estate agent extremely successful, which real estate is a contact game. It's a lead generation game. And if you're not going to do the foundational items in those areas, you will likely not make it. So when you're in a dip and you do those things, you get to the endure phase. So clarity comes up, chemistry drops, and you give up or you stick to it and get through it, eventually either getting into the endure or quitting that. That's why in real estate, you see so many agents trying new things. The dangerous thing with that is most agents get creative in the earn phase when they should be getting creative in the endure phase, meaning once their business is coasting and they are leading with revenue, then you try new things. But again, what we do is this isn't working. I don't like the feeling I have. I need to try something different. Then we get into creativity in the wrong time. If you do get creative in the earn phase, the issue with that is it becomes a vicious cycle of resetting back to the earn phase, getting into the earn phase. It doesn't work. You don't do the foundations. You don't like the feeling anymore. Then you do something else creative, go back to the earn phase, and you can see that circle happen over and over again until eventually people give up. So what is the solution? The solution is understanding and knowing your purpose or your why. And you want to be able to revisit this at moments and times of weakness. And the reason why that's important is imagine you're in the earn phase. You don't have the chemistry or desire to do what it takes today for whatever reason. Well, if I know what my core purpose is and I can recite that to myself, I can increase my chemistry. I can create this charge inside of me that pushes me to do the things that I don't want to do. If you haven't thought through what actually gets you out of bed in the morning, what actually raises the hair on the back of your neck as far as why you are on this earth, I would say that should be your priority number one, because everybody's going to experience a dip. And when you experience a dip, you need something that is going to get you through that. So as a real estate agent, know and understand the dip. Know and understand that when you're in the earn phase, there is light at the end of the tunnel. And the way to get there is going back to the foundations. And the way to get there and get your chemistry up is knowing and understanding your purpose.